Okay, this is picking up on our cultural change presentation at box number 4 there, improve communication and trust. Now remember, these 6 boxes is basically Ryan's plan to help change a culture. And what I was suggesting with this is that the first box of selling your vision and plan was kind of the most important. And the next most important was changing your human resource systems. And the third most important was finding leaders that are going to support the cause and that are trained and are aligned with what you're wanting to go. That doesn't necessarily mean that things couldn't start a little bit at the same time. You might do some things that would involve people and also build leadership. Okay. But it does say that, building leadership is probably more important than involving people in changing culture. So that's what this means. That's why it doesn't have an arrow that goes through it like a circle or something like that that just says this is more important than something else. As managers and leaders, one of the most challenging things you're going to have is communication and trust. Really is, because what you're saying and what is clear to you will not be clear to somebody else. Okay? And you have the best of intentions, but people are not understanding your words and what you mean by that. Okay? Trust, it will take you years and years to create and a moment to lose it. So it's a dicey thing, trust. So let's talk a little bit about that. What we're basically saying with this communication is you're trying to have some way of communicating with people in your organization, and there's so many more ways to do that now than there used to be. Back when I did this work years ago, maybe you put a little letter in their paycheck, because the paychecks were not electronic. They were actually a piece of paper that they picked up with an envelope, and inside the envelope you could put some sort of reminders or various communications inside that, because you knew that they were going to open that paycheck. Okay? And you can say but the idea here in this communication is that if people don't have information, what are they going to do? If they know that something, let's argue they know something big is going to happen, but they don't know much about it, what are they going to do? Speculate.
And whisper.
And start rumors and talk and really have no information. I mean, they have no truth about it. They just know something's going to happen. Right? And so that void of information, they don't know. They're going to invent information. And a lot of times it's not to help your cause. Right? And so one of the things we're talking about with improving and changing cultures, improving communication. And some of you, particularly us as engineering types and technical people, are we generally good at communicating? No! Generally not. Okay? One of the things we do in this face-to-face class is I make you come up and give presentations. Yes? There's a reason for that, right? I'm trying to encourage your presentation skills and get you to speak in front of a camera and look out there and stop looking at me and project your ideas. Stop looking at the piece of paper that you wrote from and know it cold, right? Those sorts of things. Generally, companies I've worked with, that the culture is not good, the communication's not good. Employees don't understand the policies. They don't know about new things that are happening. And you wonder, well, why isn't change happening faster? Well, people don't know about what you're trying to do. Okay? And I think you've probably found some evidence of that in the sausage article, when people are not on the same page. They don't understand what he's trying to do. I think right at the beginning, he wanted them to take responsibility, right? When he tried to, here, you take it over. What he was really trying to do was get them involved. But what it appeared to them was maybe he's just giving up on responsibility and wanting us to do his job. You can look at it two ways, right? From his point of view, I'm trying to give them a chance. From their point of view, say, wait a minute, I'm having to do the same amount of work for more money. Or more work for the same money, right? I'm do more work for the same money. That's their point of view. Okay. So what may seem perfectly good intentions for you are not going to come across that way. So it'll be a big sales effort on your part to improve communication throughout the organization. It talks about here as a way of equalizing power, certainly overcoming conflict and building trust. A lot of times, the more people know about something, the more trust they have in it. A lot of times, and you can think about conflict for a moment, sometimes conflict is just having the wrong information, not having a common understanding of what you're talking about. Sometimes conflict can be from that. At a deeper level, conflict can be on a set of personal values, and then you're probably not going to resolve those conflicts. Okay? But if it's a conflict of misinformation, then those can be resolved. Right? We had a question before the video started this class about an assignment. Was I supposed to do this assignment or not supposed to do this assignment? And I'm not going to pick on her, but it was written in the bottom of the instructions in bold that only do this assignment if you miss the in-class activity. But she's an overactive student. We want to make sure she doesn't miss anything and already did the assignment. Okay? So it was my effort to communicate that you don't have to do this if you were here. Right? But she does it anyway. And I'm not picking on her because she's a really smart young lady, but a lot of times you look at instructions, you don't read them all. Or I'll have students ask me questions about the class. Well, do you drop a quiz? And my question is, have you read the syllabus? I don't want to be rude. I don't say it like that. Sometimes if they ask more than once, I will. But it's like, if you read the syllabus, you would know I drop a quiz. But no one reads the syllabus, right? You've put that out there as a communication tool, but it's 10 pages long. All right, why is it 10 pages long? Because the university wants you to have this and this and this and this and this on it. So it's 10 pages long. All right? And so it's not a good communication tool. But it's there. In my mind, I've told you. But in the student's mind, they don't know. Maybe I make a video on the syllabus, which I do, right? We went over it, we posted it. Does anyone watch the video? No. That would be, the students aren't going to watch the video. And so you can see just in our classroom the communication gaps that are there. Right? So it's a challenge. But one of the things you're going to be saying is, I'm going to show an effort to communicate. There's a company that I work with that has a once-a-year gathering of people, of the entire organization in one room. All right, so I've been talking to the leadership. We have this gathering coming up. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to say? One time a year, you get everybody physically in the same room. Now, granted, it's not a large organization at this particular site. It's an internationally large organization, but at this location, you can get everybody in the same room. Okay? So what are you going to do with that precious time that you have once a year? Let's think about it for a minute. You're the leader of the organization. Let's argue, just for numbers' sake, this is not a real number, but let's argue it's the right number, that there's 300 people in the room. Okay? What are the things you want to tell them? You got one shot.
You talk about where you've been in the last year, what all happened.
Where have we been? Kind of what's gone on. Now that could be from several perspectives, right? Finance, performance, major milestones, on and on and on, right? Business we've achieved, what have you. Okay? So it could be an update segment on business. would be a natural thing. What else would you tell them?
New programs, where they want to go.
Where are we going? Right in this class, we've spoke about what in the first test?
Vision.
Vision, mission, values, and our plan, which I would certainly go over. Even if you've had them for years, same vision, same mission, same values, same plan, roughly.
If you don't revisit them, they become pointless.
So Teresa's suggesting we need to revisit them and keep it in front of people. Now, this particular organization is not unique. There are a lot of people in that room that don't have an office, that don't have a computer, that don't have a company phone. So there's no email for them. They're more on the shop floor type of level people. They're not going to have, your best bet's putting it up in a break room somewhere, maybe some sort of notices. So now you got your chance to talk about the vision, the plan, and whatnot. So what else are you going to say?
Thank you for your service.
Could be recognition of people, right? Some outstanding performance. I got to be careful with that because, other people are going to feel like I did something that wasn't recognized. But if your measurement reward system is working, we talked about that a couple of classes back. I've got to measure people and reward performance. If that system's working, then all you've got to do is go to your supervisors and say, give me at least one person out of your area that's done something outstanding, and we're going to bring those people to the forefront. Recognize them in some way. Could be a years of service thing. How many people have been here 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, and they're recognized for their years of service? So there could be updates. There could be vision and plan. There could be recognition. What else would you do?
Any major changes, like major changes in leadership. Introduce, if you have a new CFO, a lot of times people don't see those kind of people, especially if they're on the floor. They have no idea who those people are. So, parading a couple of those people through, and when you've had changes or if somebody's been promoted, so that people see who those folks are.
Right. Did you have to keep
activities?
What now? Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Team building activities so people know each other.
You could do that, and there's a couple of things there. First of all, on Teresa's ideas, you have to recognize that there's a lot of people that are going to come to your place of work and go home and not see you or some supervisors all year long. You don't work in their building. They don't report to you. But yet someone, there's some big significant changes in leadership or significant, maybe you're going to add on to the building in the back, and you're going to add on some new equipment or whatever you're going to do. There's something major going to happen and you want to talk about it. Okay? You could do some team building activities during that time, even though it's a lot of people. There's all sorts of mixing activities where they're forced to meet somebody new, or get so many names of people you haven't met and put those names, once you've gathered those names, you put them in a big box and they're drawn out for prizes. Most of the time that I've gone to these things, there's some prizes given out, usually at the end. Okay? In terms of recognition, the people who've worked on special committees are recognized and prizes are handed out for those things. And so it's this huge opportunity. Anything else that we can think of that you might want to say, talk about?
If you've got any decisions that you want to put to employees, like they did with the sausage guy, where he brought all of his employees together and let them help make a decision about whether or not they were going to take on some additional work. You can put those to an employee vote if you want to. You could get them involved in something. And that's, where you could use the opportunity. There's an organization I'm working with currently that's looking for a volunteer opportunity in the area. And you could put that to a vote of the employees, which I think they're going to do, for a community project. Which community project we want to be involved in for the 2014 year. And that is going to be part of their agenda. Okay. And I'm only trying to highlight this as things you'd want to communicate as a leader. You could argue, well, I can make a video, or I can
put out an email or I can do other things